Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Robin Berzin, and these are my top 9 female longevity protocols that I'm bringing into 2026. So I'm 44, I have 3 kids, and my goal is to stop the clock without stopping my life. These are the protocols that I'm recommending for my patients, myself, my community, the women in my life to take really seriously if your goal is to expand your health span, yes, expand your lifespan, of course, but also to have the energy and stamina and mental state to live a big full life right now. The first protocol that I'm recommending for all women when it comes to longevity is maximizing your estrogen. As we get into our 40s and perimenopause begins, our estrogen levels start to go down, and estrogen is the foot on the gas of your metabolism. It protects you from dementia, it protects you from bone loss, and we are understanding more and more how it even protects you from cancer risk. Number one thing I recommend people to do when it comes to maximizing estrogen is get your levels tested twice a year. What you can't measure, you can't manage, right? So getting your levels done through Parsley Longevity Labs or another provider is a starting place. Another thing I recommend when it comes to estrogen, it's not too early to start topical estrogen for your skin. I started topical estrogen for my skin. I'm not quite even in perimenopause, but it's about preserving the elasticity of my skin. And number 3, think about HRT early. The research is showing that starting hormone replacement in perimenopause, so before you're fully in menopause, is what is ultimately driving reduction of risk of things like breast cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's, and bone loss. My second female longevity protocol for 2026 is to throw away your scale and start tracking body composition and not weight. Body composition on a full body DEXA is going to help you understand your bone density, your lean muscle mass, and your fat mass, specifically your visceral fat, which is that fat around our organs that gets really inflammatory and that increases as we age. Women start losing 3 to 5% of their muscle mass starting in their 30s every single decade. And losing muscle mass is highly predictive of reducing your longevity, reducing your health span, reducing your metabolic capabilities. So what do I recommend? Get your full body DEXA. That's your full body composition DEXA scan, not just your bone density, but looking at everything twice a year so you can really track where you're at from a muscle, fat, and bone perspective. And you can also see if all that lifting heavy and all the cardio you're doing and all the dietary interventions are actually working. Third female longevity protocol for 2026 is optimizing metabolic flexibility. We talk a lot about metabolism, but we don't talk enough about metabolic flexibility, which is your ability to move back and forth in burning fat versus burning carbs for fuel. And when we sit, we don't sleep well, we don't get enough protein in our diet, we don't do enough zone 2 cardio. When we eat too much every day, we lose that metabolic flexibility and we're not able to burn fat for fuel. And that's when you get energy crashes and brain fog and you start gaining weight and you don't know why. Top thing I recommend to develop more metabolic flexibility is zone 2 cardio. That's when you're moving and it's brisk and your heart rate is up, but you could still have a conversation. So think your elliptical, maybe your Stairmaster, maybe Japanese walking with a friend. Try to get to at least 150 minutes a week of zone 2 cardio. That's going to help you build your metabolic flexibility. Female longevity protocol number 4 for 2026 is tracking your testosterone. We don't talk enough about testosterone for women, and testosterone starts to decline in our 30s in some cases, certainly in our 40s and when we enter perimenopause. And that leads to more difficulty building lean muscle mass, lower energy, lower libido. So what can you do about it? First of all, track it, test it. I recommend full hormone testing twice a year, especially if you're 40 plus. Know where your testosterone levels are. Too often, doctors don't even test testosterone and don't supplement it when they're doing HRT, which is a mistake. Second, lift heavy, build lean muscle mass. Building lean muscle mass can help you boost your body's natural testosterone levels over time. And number 3, consider supplementation. When I prescribe hormone replacement therapy, if a woman's levels are low, I am prescribing testosterone. Female longevity protocol number 5 for 2026 is measuring your heart health early. We don't talk about heart health when it comes to women enough, and yet heart disease is the number 1 killer of women. And women are not doing enough, and I see this every day, to test their heart health, understand their heart health, or do something about their heart health. And yet heart disease can be prevented and reversed a lot of the time. So this is something we can really do something about. Number one recommendation is testing. So don't just get the basic cholesterol profile, get your lipoprotein little a, which is a mortality risk factor if it's high. Tends to be genetic. Newer drugs are coming out to bring it down. Make sure you're testing hsCRP, which is a measure of inflammation. And of course, make sure you're testing ApoB, which is the best measure we have of LDL and how it correlates to heart disease risk. If you want to get fancy, and I recommend this for everyone over 50, especially women, get a CT angio. There's companies out there like Clearly that offer them, which is looking at early heart disease development, including soft plaques. If we see those soft plaques early, we can start taking action to reverse that heart disease now. Female longevity protocol number 6 is lowering your biological age through lowering your VO2 max. You're going to hear a lot from me in 2026 about VO2 max, which is a measurement of how well your body uses oxygen to make energy. And guess what? It's also one of the top predictors of your longevity. We don't look at it enough. You can do a fancy treadmill test with a mask and get your VO2 max. You can also use a wearable like Whoop, which gives you a really pretty accurate estimate of what your VO2 max is. Getting your VO2 max up, you really need a mix of all of the zones of cardio. So that's zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. Zone 2 is when you're moving, you're brisk, your heart rate goes up, but you can still have a conversation. When you're in zones 3 and 4, you're really, really heart pumping, out of breath, can't speak. Zone 5 is when you're at your heart rate max. And all of the research is showing that getting a mix of zone 2s, 3, and 4s throughout your week, even pushing it to zone 5 occasionally, is what's going to build your VO2 max over time. Female longevity protocol number 7 for 2026 is intermittent fasting done right for women. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this one, but there really shouldn't be. Intermittent fasting helps your body develop metabolic flexibility, helps your body lower inflammation, repair dead and damaged cells, and can be a really powerful tool, yes, for women. Now, if you are pregnant, you are breastfeeding, you have certain thyroid conditions, maybe intermittent fasting isn't for you. But for most people, 3 to 4 days a week, a 16-hour fast, which means you finish dinner by 8 p.m. and you just don't eat until noon the next day, can be a really powerful tool in your regimen. When you do break your fast, make sure you have protein, ideally 25 to 30 grams of protein in that first meal, because that's what's going to stabilize blood sugar then for the rest of the day. I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting because it allows us to go through some of that stored carbohydrates, those stored glycogen in your body that you develop when you're eating all the time. And then you're actually able to move back and forth between burning fat for fuel and burning carbs for fuel. So I'm a big fan. Again, not for everyone, but for many women, this is a really awesome tool. Female longevity protocol number 8 for 2026 is breath work for nervous system regulation. Yes, regulating our nervous system is a critical piece of our health. And as women, when we don't regulate our nervous systems on a daily basis, that impacts our blood sugar, our hormones, our sleep, our digestion, our moods, everything downstream. So we have to have practices that we can put into place easily, simply, for free at home. And breath work is one of them. There is great data behind cyclic sighing, which is a process of actually sighing over and over again. There is a practice of 4-7-8 breath, which is inhale for 4, hold for 7, slowly exhale for 8. These practices have been shown to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, the side of our nervous system that says rest, digest, relax, and heal, and help regulate our bodies. It's truly powerful. You might even look into holotropic breath work, which is a more intense breath work practice, which for some people is a real way to get deeper insights and find lasting calm. This was a big part of my 2025, and I'm definitely bringing it into 2026. Female longevity protocol number 9 for 2026 is targeted supplementation. That means supplements that are proven, they're safe, they're tested, they're really good quality, and they are targeted to longevity. Some of my big favorites for this year are number 1, urolithin A, which is supporting my mitochondria. Those are those energy powerhouses of the cells. We can all use more energy. Urolithin A has been shown to improve mitochondrial function, and that means more energy for you. I'm also taking broccoli seed extract, also officially known as sulforaphane, which is the active ingredient there. That one's helping me detoxify and metabolize my estrogens. It's helping me detoxify even from chemicals like microplastics and PFAS. taking that one every day. And the last one is targeted bone support. I didn't take bone support supplements when I was in my 30s. Now that I am in my 40s, I am. Supplements like Algae Cal, which have specific formulations of calcium and magnesium, which are critical for bones. New probiotic, prebiotic blends like Bone Dia, which are shown to help reduce bone loss. I'm getting really targeted when it comes to my bones in general, and supplementation is part of that picture. Those are my top 9 female longevity protocols for 2026. I'm curious, what are you using? What have you implemented? Where are you seeing results? And for all of the details and a real breakdown of each of these protocols, the science behind them, how to implement them, what I'm doing, sign up for my newsletter at robinberzenmd.com. It's a free newsletter where I really detail all of these things that I'm learning through my research. There are thousands and thousands of patients of Parsley Health and through my own experience living my longevity story.